Hello everybody and welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. My name is JB and I'll be taking you through tonight's proceedings. But before any of that is said, let's have a look at the driver standings, because here in GP3, that is GP2 tables, because I clearly know what GP3 look like. That's Premier. Give me a minute. I will find them eventually. Wrong direction. There's GP2. There we go. In the GP3 Drivers' Championship, currently it's Luke Beck ahead of Centre Crumpets, but Centre Crumpets has since moved, so everyone here will move up one further position. So it's actually Luke Beck ahead of Wido Billy in P2, then that guy Sven in P3, then Urga Trainman is in P4, Torpix is in P5, Psychomich is in P6, Dr. Special Energy is in P7, Just Mikey is in P8, Outside A is in P9, and Festa is in P10. GA is in P11, Hegloof is in P12, Badger is in P13, Blood and Sands is in P14, Stam, who is now a reserve driver, is in P15, C. Pasley, who has since left the league, is in P16, Oima is in P17, Sigurd is in P18, RDB is in P19, and the new boy, Linel, is in P20. He's now returned to GP3. We'll run through that story in a moment, but let's have a look at the Constructors' Championship, because it's still looking very Italian, with Alfa Romeo ahead of Renault in P2. Then there's Toro Rosso in P3 and Ferrari in P4. Racing Point is in P5. Aston Martin Red Bull is in P6. Haas is in P7. Mercedes is in P8. McLaren is in P9. And Williams, languishing at the bottom of the table with 1 point, is in P10. But I'm not on my own tonight, because tonight I'm joined by a brilliant commentator that I often be with. It's Leroy. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for that introduction.
So, we got the first big driver change of the season, actually here, with GP2's Linel departing GP2 and heading down to the GP3 division, and with Centre Crumpets moving up to GP2. I mean, that means that we'll be seeing a lot more of Centre Crumpets, as he's now driving the Ferrari there. But how does that shape up for Lee coming in with with 3 other races down on the other GP3 driver, sorry?
Well, personally, I mean, 2 weeks later, I know, it's basically, you just have to try and get used to, obviously, for me being moved down, obviously, user admin discussed this, and obviously he made the decision to move down, so you just have to get used to the quality of GP3, and then try and bang in. Obviously, us GP2 drivers are going to miss him, but we welcome Centre Crumpets with open arms, and hopefully he can do well in the Ferrari.
Yes, most definitely. So Lee is now back with the team that he almost won the championship with back in season 3, the Toro Rosso team. So there he is. He's mocked up a nice Toro Rosso helmet to make me feel very annoyed, because it's the wrong colours. But, you know, it'll do for now, and I'll make him do a better one soon. But we're here at Baku, and yeah, this is the first real street circuit of the season. And wow, did it show off last night. We have been given the command to go over the track, but Leroy, this track is incredibly difficult, isn't it?
Oh, yes, indeed. I mean, on last game I actually really enjoyed it, but this game I really don't feel it. I hate the castle section, first of all. I mean,
yeah.
you know, if you like the castle section, you are a psycho.
Do you want to know something really, really weird?
Yes.
According to F1 statistics, according to the boffins at F1 HQ, you can fit 3 cars side by side in the castle section.
Yeah, well, no, you can't even fit 2, so that is completely not the BS. Because you can't, if you try and fit 2, someone is going into the wall, unless you're going like 2 miles an hour, someone is going into the wall.
Oh. You can't fit 2 in general. So that is the biggest peril in this track. But before we even talk about putting our 19 drivers on track to race, we have qualifying. And qualifying here is, well, it's not totally the thing that will determine the race, is it? As we've seen in most seasons in F1 now.
Yes, we do. Obviously, yeah. I mean, I don't even remember 2016, because that wasn't really eventful. 2017, you clearly saw Carlo, Stroll, and then Boss come from back in the bit. 2018, again very eventful. In 2019,
nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing really happened. It was I mean, if anything beats Germany this season, I don't know what I'll do, because Germany in real life was absolutely mad.
Well, Germany was only good because it was wet. If Silverstone had been wet, it'd be very similar. You know what's ever going to make me shift? Silverstone's the best track. So, drivers here at this track have to watch out for slippery surfaces. Obviously, this is a street circuit, so tight corners. This is very much a Formula E circuit, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, definitely, yeah. Well, obviously, that big long straight, I mean, off the exit of the basically the final corner, you know, you basically have the start of the third sector all the way out to the line. It is the longest straight currently in Formula 1.
So a couple of drivers out on track. We have Sven, the fast-charging Swedish driver, and Fester, who actually, the other Swedish driver running the Alain Prost helmet, actually went on commentary with me last night. So shall we see how the number 9 car does? The man almost honouring Marcus Ericsson with a number 9 on his car.
And yeah, obviously now.
Oh.
A cycle Mitchell.
The lag out already. That's very unfortunate for Cycle Mitch. He'll be able to get it back in though. He'll be able to get the qualifying back up.
Yeah. Oh, so what was I going to say? I was going to say something other than that. Obviously, with new livery changes, you can see on the house they have the number.
Yeah, I love that number. I love that number. Look at how tight, as Alsane has joined us. Behind schedule as always. I'm not going to be sympathetic. You're not going to get a qualifying because you're late.
And Mitch is back, so his internet. I mean, hopefully, it's F1 2019, so knowing this game, I mean, let's just pray he can get back in this car.
Well, if he can't get back in his car, it's the most totally difficult thing to qualify to race this race without setup on. So heading down the big long straight, heading towards turn 1 is Sven in the Alfa Romeo. But first, you've got to make it through these you've got to thread the needle. If you go a little bit offline through those turns, you're in trouble. You end up in the barrier. We saw it last night when an eventful run to the line right at the end from Pro Oliver and the Alfa Romeo of someone. Cannot remember who the Alfa Romeo was. Xander, that's who it was. So coming through turn 1 now. Look at how, wow, he sailed a little bit wide there. But Sven is still okay on his lap right now as the Alfa Romeo comes through turn 2. Bumping over the curbs, hitting DRS open as he runs down. He does have a car in front of him, so we'll have to keep an eye on that car, whether that car gets out of the way, but it looks like it's to be far enough away it won't affect him at this moment in time. He's going to catch him right in the wiggly bit. This section here, again, very Formula E-esque, but still wider than most as he comes up towards Sector 2 in a few corners' time. That's Hagen getting out of the way in the Williams.
Yeah, good job for Hagen getting out of the way there, but anyway. Fred, he told him this is gonna be the place where you expect everyone to be.
You don't want to trip up here. You don't want to cut that corner, which he has, and I think that might have invalidated the lap time.
No, he stayed on it. I think he.
Oh, how close do you want to get to that wall?
Oh my, the Haas of Fester, I think his name is. He nearly hit the outside one. I mean, it's about commitment. How far are you prepared to go to get a perfect lap around here, especially to the car section? If you don't want to commit, then you might as well stay at home.
Eyes on on Sven as he comes up through the final couple of corners now towards the run down to the line. The Alfa Romeo looking very solid on the hardest compound of tyres. We've brought the white tyres. DRS is going to open in a few moments' time. Just about now, there it is, opening on the car. The Ferrari-powered car powering down towards the line. Where can he go? He's going to go faster to 140.5. Where's Fester going to go? Fester on the same tyres, same engine. He goes a 140. Put my teeth in. Good grief. A 142.5. Topics now in the Racing Point. He's going to go faster. No, it's a 141.0. So Sven looking very quick right now.
The Williams goes who's on the left?
Eumer has gone there. Lienel actually going up to 6th, but Hegloof even faster in the Red Bull. So Honda looking very quick today. Racing Point won last night, but who's quicker now? Just Mikey goes 7th.
White old Billy, second in the championship.
Billy is currently coming down to finish his lap time now in the other Alfa Romeo. He's got a little bit wide there. He's lost a little bit of time as he had to lift off. Heading towards the line now. There's the safety car line. Heading straight. He's pitting. He's committed to the pit lane, but looks a bit. No, he hasn't actually. He's sailing back out wide. The number 30 car, what can he do as he crosses the lines of 132? No, 131. Very quick lap time. But Friedrich in the Renaults, even quicker. The number 22 car looking very excited. He's shown some major speed this season.
You have Hagen.
Hagen. Sorry, there's a chunk of Toro Rosso in the wall there. Let's just belong to Linell. So let's have a look at Hagen as the number 19 car.
No, the Mercedes of
Vistilli. Oh, in the wall. He's had a big accident there. He's just worked out how to reverse, though. And luckily, he found reverse gear. Here's Hagen. His first qualifying lap time in SFR. DRS open. He hits the ground running. It's P4 for the Williams. But no one is catching Sven on the hard compounded tyres, barring Hegloof and Friedrich on the soft compounded tyres.
I mean, yeah. I'm just going to call him that. I mean, if he stays still there, because this is the game, so like, he will get disqualified. So, I mean, kind of have to move anyway. And Luke Beck, what can he do? And then can he match Sven's time? They'll come across the line.
Championship leader crossing the line now. It's a 1:31.6.
1.1. He's just in front of his championship rival Billy.
Looking at just Mikey now as he comes through. Where's Vistilli? Vistilli with the broken front wing coming into pit lane now. The reserve driver for Mercedes turning in. And immediately into the box.
Okay, so good. Yeah, Mitch has been able to get back in this car, so that is all good news. Nothing to worry about from him.
So looking at RDB, who's getting his lap time loaded up. But we're actually going to look at Badger, who looks to be on a slow lap. Yeah, he is. He's on a recharge lap now. Fefster is 5 tenths up on his lap time, currently in P9, where Kanahasco, as the Swedish driver, brakes for the very tricky corner where Sergio Perez binned his car in 2016.
I am watching Blood Down Sand 15. He's with the starter lap on the medium tires, so braking into turn 1.
Looking at Fefster on the stream. Looking at Fefster on the stream, though, DRS opening in just a moment's time for the Swedish driver. There it is, as he runs down the mountain with Alan Prost's helmet. People said that if this track had been made in the 1970s or 1980s, he goes 6th, it would have been a driver killer. And this track really shows it after last night's GP4 race, sorry. The Scotsman of Blood and Sands, now on stream.
I mean, I think he might have backed on, because yeah, he's backed on. Psycho Mitch in the house. With the new, number on the front, which I love.
They all had. Every team had livery updates, which is great.
Obviously, yeah. I hope Mitch can represent the house team well, as that's the team I am in GB2. So that's just something to represent as well.
Well, you can always see the camaraderie between SFR drivers and and their teammates in the other divisions through the castle section now. Psychovic, he had a little bit of a moment there on turning, but he seems to be okay as he goes a little bit wide, though. It's fine. The Haas is still fine. Electro Dan jumping in the chat saying Luke Beck needs to be on the podium so he can give you the details on the new episode of Dora the Explorer. That joke is never going to end.
Yeah, that will definitely never end. That is a classic. And that will never end, trust me.
It's alright, it's me with helmets, that is. And people just say to me, how's your helmet doing? It's fine. Psychomich coming through the tricky, slight slide from the rear end there, as he didn't really kiss the apex. He missed that. He will lose time now as he heads down. DRS will open on the Haas just about now. There it is, as he runs towards the line. What can the British driver do? He's derating. And he's 11th.
P11, because he ran out of DRS, but anyway, DB.
Here's Ryan in the Toro Rosso, his new teammate. He has to show off what his teammate can do, what he can do for his team. DRS is going to open on the Honda-powered car as he heads towards the line now. DRS open. What can the Toro Rosso do? As we had a few more people do laps. Lean out as you're going out to P11. RDB to P11, beating his teammate on the same compound of tyres.
Let's watch me though. Obviously, what he said pre-race, he is a.
He's in the wall.
I was gonna say he's. I was gonna say before he hit the wall, he is a driver who will be missed on the grid, and he definitely will. But anyway, Sven on another lap, but I was trying to catch anyone, you know.
The thing with Lee, he knows how to win. He has won races in SFL. He's won more races than me because I've not won any. So he knows how to win in this series. So he should, in theory, be right up there. And he's returning to a team that he knows. He's returning to Toro Rosso, a car and a team that he knows. Almost brought him the championship in Season 3, but he ultimately lost out to T. Jonas in the McLaren. Now we'll see what he can do in GP3.
We again hitting the wall.
On board with Vestilli in the Mercedes. He's made it through the castle section this time, but what can he do? Coming down the hill.
I'm watching Sven. He has his teammate Billy ahead, so maybe they're gonna work slipstream. Maybe they're in a party. Who knows?
So still got eyes on the number 15 Mercedes car of Vestilli as he comes up through the final couple of corners now. There's one, hit the apex nicely. Turning in nicely, apex 2, apex 3, perfect clean sweep, making the corner as short as possible as he comes down now through that final little kink towards the line. What can the Mercedes do? DRS open, would be the fastest car in real life, but this is equal cars. What can he do as he heads towards the yellow flag zone? Crossing the line, it's P9.
Cheers, Sven, no, he has slipstream. Where can this put him? Crossing the line he goes, P2. That's a very solid lap for him.
Friedrich on his own. Friedrich's on his own though. He's going to go even faster. It's a 1:38.8.
Wow. I don't think anyone would be in that. 1.2 Sven will have to improve by, but probably even more, not gonna lie. Luke is on. I think he's either finished the floor or I think he's all the floors. So let's watch the Renault here. He has that's his teammate ahead. Yeah, he's his teammate.
So Friedrich being hunted down by his teammate in the Renault as the 37 car comes up through the final couple, through the wiggly bits towards the next portion of the track.
He's taking that very nicely, I will say. He's already 4 tenths up. Seeing a good lap from Luke. Oh, gets very close to that wall.
There's Sven.
Sven gets there with the wave, so.
Remember, Luke Beck is the championship leader here in GP3. As he heads up towards the castle section, doesn't want anyone to distract him. Coming through there, lifting off slightly as he didn't want to accelerate into the wall. He has had a slide though as he hits the curb, hitting the wall. And what can the Renault car get up to as he heads down the hill now? This wonderful downhill section, awful in the wet, horrible in the dry if you get it wrong. But he seems okay as he heads towards the line now. He's going to have DRS assistance and have some nice slipstream from his teammate.
1.5 up, he's on a brilliant lap at the moment. He's set to go ahead of Sven. If he can keep it up.
Lee saying on the radio to his new Toro, to returning to the Toro Rosso team, he said, "I don't like Baku." DRS open on the Renault. There's the slipstream from his teammate. A monstrous slipstream as the other Renault heads for pit lane. Perfectly timed for the Renault team. Where's this going to put him? It's P2 for Renault. And it's a dominant gap. And Sven, he's not going to have time to go out on the medium tyres on Sport. If he can't beat it, well, he can probably beat him on the soft compound tyres, but that's really put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Yeah. Luke has his teammate defined, and I just want to mention, I want to mention some things, but the one thing, okay? I remember one thing. Having this is crucial. If you don't have a good relationship with teammates, it's gonna end. But if you have a good, relationship, you can go in parties. Oh,
Hagen!
Sorry for interrupting.
Hagen has gone to P2 to ruin Renault's party. The man with the red and white helmet, much like Robert Kubica.
If you get about Hagen for a minute, Topics has, he just binned it in Castle, and he's trodden home, I believe. Yeah, his left end plate is completely gone.
The Racing Point in trouble as we're on board with the other Scotsman of GA. As he comes through the castle section now, doesn't want to make any mistakes. been a very nice, crucial session. Only one mistake in the castle section so far, or at least one we've seen, as we're following the McLaren Renault of GA running down towards the bottom of the hill now. Looking very comfortable as he brakes at the 100-meter board once more and heading down to try and secure a quicker lap time than his teammate, who has just come out of the pit lane to go onto his lap now. Missing the turn a little bit as the 56 car comes through towards the line. What can McLaren do?
Yeah,
they have a good car here.
GA wants to go. GA wants to go again off the box and come straight back out, but I think he might just complete the stop and maybe.
Well, that's if he wants to go again on different tyres. He can go again on his compound tyres. Running to the line now. Not going to be a quick lap time. It's P15 though
15.
for the McLaren. Here's the 15 car of Bud and Sands. The final driver not to set a lap time in the last 2 minutes of qualifying. What can the Scotsman get up to?
Here he comes.
Yellow flags in Sector 2. Looks like we're coming up to Sector 2 now. What can we see on the light boards? No yellow flags yet.
Everyone's
coming Sands. Whoa, 40 gone deep there. But the yellow flags are in. So the crisis has been averted as he comes up down to the line. What can the Scotsman do?
Here he comes, braking now. If you run no ABS, back here is an absolute nightmare. I know from personally, I don't run no ABS, or I'm trying no ABS around here, and God is awful.
The Scotsman now. Whoa, he's at the wall! Luckily, he was fine not to slide over and bid the car on the track, but he's going to think, right, this lap time's not going to be very good now. DRS is going to open in a minute. He's on the fastest compound tyres. The number 15 car, DRS open now as he heads down. He's derating. No electrical energy. This is all done on a Renault horsepower. Crossing the line now. It's P13. Outside 8, leaving the session.
Luke will not get out again, and neither will Hagen, so they are done. Anyway, let's watch Hegolf, and then I want to watch Sven, but anyway, Hegolf on the sauce. What can he do? Can he challenge for Paul? He can't. Where will he go? He goes across the line, he goes P2.
And Luke Beck's going to think, this isn't getting helpful.
I'm trying to find me one on. I don't think Billy will make it right. He has to let faster guys too. Mitch, no, it's all on the end. See what he can do.
Oima is on a lap time for the Williams team as he comes into the braking zone.
Mitch is backed off.
Clip the corner. Psychomichi in P11 might not want to improve, might want to stay in P11. As we're looking at the Williams of Oima coming down towards the line, as Oima is looking to finish his lap time to improve from P10 in the Williams, heading towards turn 1 as best he can. What can he do? DRS open on the car as he heads towards the line. He's going to go. He's the final lap time. It's P4 matching his teammate, but he's not going to stay there because Sven's on a lap time right now.
Sven, yep. Can he get pole?
What's going on for Lee with GP2? Well, Lee felt that his pace he wasn't enjoying his pace in GP2, so he's moved down to GP3. But taking his choice.
Sven at the moment will take pole. I mean, just after so I want to watch Lee, but Fifster. What a good party, but we don't care about that for a minute.
Sven has backed off massively for the Alfa Romeo, but he doesn't want to improve. Mediums. So who received the penalty?
It was the Haas Fester, I think. Yeah, Fester.
Fester has received a penalty. He will drop to P14 on the grid now. But right now it looks to be pole position has been finished. And that goes to Friedrich in the Renault unless he wants to improve. Let's have a look. His teammate down in P6. Friedrich into pit lane. So it will be the Renault on pole position ahead of the Red Bull in P2 and Williams in P3.
Indeed, so. It was Topic's car.
Yeah, so that will be possibly investigated after the race further, but Fester has received a penalty for it, so we'll see what happens.
Unless, I mean, that could be you know, for Fefster, he could have been on the lap and then what happened. But you
Well,
know,
we can't predict what happens. We can't predict what happens. So
yeah, we can't predict anything.
We can't predict anything that happens, so we will leave that as it stands, so we will talk about it at the end of the race. So, it's an all-Norwegian top 5 because Friedrichs in P1, Hedda Hegluth in P2, Hagen is in P3, and Oyma is in P4, Vistilli is in P5, Luke Beck is in P6, Sven is in P7, Stam is in P8, Fester is in P9. Well, Fester's not in P9, with a 5-pace grid penalty, he will drop further down the grid. Topics is in P10, Badger is in P11, Sykovic is in P13, 12, Wido Billy is in P13, Blunzan is in P14, Lee Nell is in P15, GA is in P16, IDB is in P17, Just Mikey is in P18, Alsat A should be in P19, but he left the session.
No, he didn't do qualifying.
No, he left the session midway through.
Oh. Well,
So
he didn't want to start with a default setup around here, which is fair enough.
Turn up on time.
Exactly.
Turn up on time. He didn't turn up on time for the race, so he had to risk doing qualifying. It's his own fault.
Exactly, yeah, it is.
So, this will be interesting to see what happens with strategy now, because we know that Fefster has received that penalty. He will start in P14, and everyone between P9 and P14 will move up one position as he moves down. Heading on to the race, This will be really interesting. Really fun to see what different people have to say at the end of this race.
Yeah, especially
Top
3.
Topics is saying that he had already finished and it wasn't his fault at all. He wasn't in control. So it might be an AI thing, but we will see what happens. Obviously, if there's a thing put into the stewards, you can receive you'll be asked to give away your footage. But we can't talk about that at all anymore. So, Frida's leading away on pole position. The top 5, though, all on the soft tyres. They'll potentially be making the soft to hard tyre switch. Proved very well last night, but I think that will entail really a 2-stop race.
For the GP2 upwards, I think softs is needing their own stuff. For GP3, if they're good on the tyres, it's easy.
We will see what happens though in this race.
The medium runners though. I mean, they're probably going to have to do medium to hard now, let's be real. Because if you can't do soft to medium, you basically can't do opposite way around. But
I mean, leaving the session, so he joined midway through, but he then lost out once more. Lots of medium runners. I think the most notable one though, Badger and Sykovic in the Haas and the Ferrari. Maybe they're looking for something different, hoping to stay out of trouble, but they're right in the middle of the field, so it could be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, maybe they want to go on the softs at the end, possibly.
Well, they're going to have to jump onto a different compound soon, but we'll have a look later on as they're heading towards the downhill section here. This section with 18 cars will be so much fun, and we're going to see what happens at the start of this race in a moment's time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, if you look at the top, 6, and you look at Mikey and Mikey's there. I've seen in previous years you can get a penalty for going slow just to be, annoy people. You can get penalties.
What, are you talking on the formation lap?
On the formation, it has happened. If you deliberately
there won't be a penalty. There won't be a penalty if you deliberately kill people on the formation lap or in the race.
I'm just saying.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm not saying this. I'm just saying. If someone went straight, let's just say someone went straight on in turn 1, and let's just say gets about 3-4 people disqualified.
Are you talking on the formation lap or in the race?
I'm talking about on the formation lap. Obviously, in the race, that would be
well, the formation lap's a different thing right now. Anyway, we're going to look towards 5 red lights now here in Baku. What can the City Street Circuit produce? Will it produce a race like 2016? Will it produce a race like 2017? Who knows? Because GP3 is about to have some great big fun here as we head towards 5 red lights, waiting for all the cars in position, waiting for that telltale little sign of the lights coming on board. Any moment now, we should see them. There they are. So to 5 red lights here GP3 is about to go green, and they go green now. It's a good start from the Renault in P1, but Hegloof is battling harder. The Alfa Romeo is on the outside of Vistilli. Senno is dropping out wide. There's contact. And the Toro Rosso been shifted down, but already the top two further down, and it's 3 wide into turn 3. Yellow flag set to 1. It's Sajkovic. More drivers struggling. Billy is way down the order now as he's battling with Linel, who's trying to stay out of trouble. Mikey having a rocket start to the battle with RDB, heading into turn 3.
Oh, the half makes up the inside. He hit the Ferrari there, but oh look, you have
the 2 hard runners sector 1, and it's Sven in the wall, Sajkovic in the wall, Fester in the wall. Both Hasses in trouble here.
If it's a GP4 recreation, quite frankly.
And Badger with a 3-second time penalty for cutting the corner already. And look at that. Right, Friedrich has disappeared.
Sven, looking, if he breaks, oh, Sven is caught. Oh, what the hell's going on with Sven and all these odds?
Well, Sven,
I thought we were going to go into the wall, but look. What's happened to, hang on, Luke still staying. And one of the medium runners, who started
it's GA is having to lift off behind Sven as Sven gets out of the way of everyone else without the front wing. The Alfa Romeo disaster for him as the drivers all shuffle and try and get out of the way of the stricken car, and everyone's going to try and get through. We're heading towards lap 2 here in Baku.
Friedrich though,
Friedrich,
excuse me, Friedrich, excuse me, 1.8 second lead.
Luke Beck in P5 is putting pressure on Oima. Oima's shifting around a little bit. He could cast that was weaving, but probably not. Here comes Luke Beck to the inside of the Williams. Braking hard. He doesn't make the move. He puts the dummy in as Topix pits as well. There was contact for the racing point as Badger pits, joining the group of first lap pitters. We'll see both passes into pit lane as well. You can't run this track without the front wing.
Oh, look, Oima, hang on, sorry, excuse me.
No, Hegloof. Hegloof and Hagen are battling. Hegloof's right on. Oh, no, Luke Beck!
Oh, Luke Beck, no!
The championship leader is having to do I can't say his name. Ragadathan, that's his name. He's Austin Powers it. The 15-point turn has been. He's got no front wing on side, so he's having to struggle with that damage now in the Renault. And Vistilli, the reserve driver, is looking to make a move on the Williams soon. Oh, Hegloof is in the barrier. Hegloof is struggling in the Red Bull, and he's lost both end plates. He definitely has a Marussia front wing now, as Stam is looking to pass him. Sector 2, yellow flags.
I'm saying Stam started P9, I think, something like a Billy, I think. No idea, I think I'll agree. Yeah, Billy with no front wing, it's chaos! Here on the open house. Yeah,
Hegloof has dropped behind Stam, and he'll have to take a visit to pit lane once more for...
I just want to say, the 2 McLarens, they've gone quietly, but look, Lee up in the P9.
Well, Lee's not going to be in P9 for much longer. He's looking to pass GA as Hegloof pulls into pit lane. Friedrich, the fastest man on track. Here comes Lee now. Honda power. He's familiar with this car.
Look at that. The straight line speed is absolutely ridiculous.
He goes to the outside of the McLaren, and he is going to stay there, but GA isn't going to give it up to Scotsman. He's not Scotsman on the brakes, and look at Liddell, showing that he should have been champion in Season 3, some say, but he is there, and he is looking to have a good result here in Baku after a lackluster qualifying.
Yeah, it's great by me. You have Billy, Fester, I go following the pits.
Oh, Lee's gone straight on!
No!
Lee has gone straight on where Luke Beck did. He just missed his braking point. The 72 car is having to wait, and he's having to get out of the way so he doesn't block other people. Sector 2 yellow flags, and there it is. Linel is now in P11 as you see Topix pulling through. Sven and Hegloof, though, battling hard. Hegloof is on the medium tyres, and Sven is on the soft compounder tyres.
It's Friedrich. You know, it's Friedrich even racing 3.6. I can't really stay out of all the trouble.
Friedrich is having fun up on his own right now as we have a yellow flag in sector 1, and now RGB is thinking, right, my teammate passed you but made a mistake. It's Hegloof. Hegloof's in trouble. Hegloof's in the barrier hard.
No, forget about Hegloof. The battle for the podium between Oima
Well, I
and
won't forget about
Oima.
Hegloof because Hegloof is causing a yellow flag, so I won't forget about him. I'll look at him on stream. Vestili now looking to pass Oima.
I think with the DRS you were in, I think your DRS will breeze past him. Yeah, there you go. You make the move.
It's one thing to pass the car in front, though. He has to get him on the brakes, and he has got him on the brakes.
Oh, he's run wide though, and back in the oil with a chance at it. I was on my train, same point, and you got the DRS through here, but he ran wide. I think that will just give.
Sands into pit lane now.
Right. Just my way back from the points.
Topics is the fastest man on track now in P11. He's going to be getting close to lead now. These two haven't battled before. But Sven takes that already, saying, no, I'm faster. DRS open on Topics' rear wing as he hunts down Lienel. Lienel, who didn't have to pit after his mistake at turn 3. This time Lee making a correct mistake, and actually Topics braking so much earlier than Lee. He's lost a lot of time, but Oima, he hasn't let Vestili get away. The two Norwegians looking to battle through the castle section. So much more hesitant now with fuel in the cars. As Stam, the Greek driver, is right on the back of them. So what can happen?
Friedrich, I mean, 4.2.
Well, Friedrich's on the fastest compound of tyres right now, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and also if Stam, I was on the mediums, and if I should say Friedrich or something next, I think Friedrich made a little mistake because it's 4.2 now. It's people I didn't make a mistake anyway. The battle, as the P3 rages on, I think Oima, he's just within there, which will help him.
Vestili committed to pit lane. He's into pit lane. The top 3 into pit lane. Does Oima? Oima does not. Oima will be our race leader. And Hagen, the second place man in the Williams, has received a penalty now. And Stam's had a big mistake there. So Oima, the number 9 car, is now leading. Due to pit stops. It's good to see that.
I saw a carbon fibre. I'm not sure that was from lap 1 or the stand it down and Luke up in the P4. I cannot speak. Open the P5, but yes, pit again.
We'll see.
Front lane.
We're looking at Friedrich. He's looking to pass GA soon, as drivers are all getting more and more experience with this racetrack. Remember, this is only the the 4th race of the season. Drivers still trying to work out where they are. At sector 1, we have a yellow flag. Luke Beck under pressure. It's Vestili. Vestili has made a mistake, and he's having a battle now with Lienel in the Toro Rosso. And Lee is looking to pass him soon, and he could complain that Vestili's being a little bit liberal with lines there, but he will not, because I know Friedrich is looking really quick today. He really is. But he's got to make sure he converts that strategy to soft to mediums into a race winning strategy.
Yeah. What can I if you want to go medium, you would have to pit.
Yellow flags in sector 1 once more. It's been restricted. It's Fester. Fester's made a mistake on his hard compounded tyres, so drivers are starting to calm down a little bit. Let's have a look at Friedrich as he gets close to the back of GA. Both these cars powered by the French Renault team. Let's see what the customer team can do against the factory team. But McLaren have got so much less pace through there. And here comes Friedrich. No more DRS at this point. Oima with a 5-second penalty, and the DRS is active, and the McLaren will have to shift up behind Friedrich. Norwegian taking 3rd.
Where's the one going to come out though? He's battling.
Hegloof has been passed by Hagen. Hagen, though, with that penalty, is going to sit over his head. Oh, it's Vestili. He's got deep at turn 1.
Oima, we must have been probably. If Vestili didn't make that mistake, he wouldn't be out ahead of him. No, Oima's just got out ahead of the rest of what our Topics, but now, Topics with the DRS, he will not give this up into Overly. Right, go down the inside. Yeah, he definitely, he is close enough now. Down the inside he goes!
That's very, very aggressive defending from Oima, but nothing too bad as Topics goes down. And that's, I mean, that's questionable, but it looked to be a semi-controlled dive bomb. So you could, our Topic's actually letting him back through, but he has lost the position now to Vastili. Billy into pit lane. Linel has actually had to pit for another set of medium tyres after having to change his front wing.
Sam.
Dudden Sands in the McLaren has lost his front wing, or part of it. Something's gone wrong with that car as he lets Lee through.
She is still with Friedrich though, so he hasn't completely lost. Actually.
Can the McLaren, now with a driver in front of him, be the one to catch and pass the Renault? Normally we see McLaren much faster than Renault in this season of Formula 1, but we'll see what can happen. He is going to be quicker. GA looking to the inside of the kink, and he skims the barrier. How close do you want to get? Is Friedrich, though, going to be able to respond? He will not be, because GA with... Oh, Friedrich's in the pit lane. Friedrich into pit lane once more. After one lap, the race could be over for the Renault team. Is that a new front wing? It is! A new front wing needed for the Renault car. And they weren't ready. So the team slowly changing the wing on board with Linel as he comes up behind Sajkovic now. Going around the outside. Whoa, big lag there from Sajkovic as we're going to go on board actually with Luke Beck, who's trying to get past Hagen. Remember, this is Hagen's debut race tonight in SFR. Luke's gone deep. He's had to get the Renault car slowed down somehow, and he has, without hitting the car in front. So, what are you looking at, Leroy?
I'm trying to look at battles. I'm trying to find some. We have Topics and Estili, so...
Whoa, big slide from RDB. Well done to catch that car as he comes up behind Friedrich. So RDB sliding the rear end with his damaged front wing is really struggling in that Toro Rosso tonight. So Badger on the back of Oima. This is for the battle for P15. Eyes front as the engineers would be shouting as they look at Badger's rear end. And Oima is in trouble as he starts to get slower. But remember, he has just pitted, so his lap times will start getting faster. Sector 2, we have a yellow flag. It's Hegloof. Hegloof had an accident at the castle section. More drama for T. Jonas's brother, the brother of the champion. And GA drops down a position to Hagen. Luke Beck, who has made a mistake, is further back now. He has a lot of damage to his front wing, does the championship leader. So we'll see what Luke can do, as he will have to stop once more with that damaged front wing. So here's Topics in the racing point. What can he do? Actually, GA hasn't really left Hagen alone. But Topics on the back of Ollie Vastili. Sector 1's yellow flags waving once more. Who is up for? No. Oh, it's Hegloof once more who's heading to pit lane. What? That can't have been Hegloof then. Lap 8 out of 26 here. Sorry, Leroy.
I think Stam is able to take the win. Man, it's GA started. I was trying to get position between them. He's gained 13 positions. So he started 6. And he has a chance of a podium here.
Well, GA is on a different strategy, so he's going to drop down the field with the strategy change, the same as everyone else is going to be moving around a bit. So there's no way we can predict the winner right now, because Friedrich's had to pit twice, Stam hasn't pitted at all, and Topics right now is caught up in traffic.
Yeah, Estili and Topics, I was going to say. They're catch up to Mikey. I think all of Estili will get some, he will get the DRS. So, good for him.
But Topics is closer to the back of Vastili than Vastili is to the back of Mikey. So a double dose of DRS as Topics is got to think about breaking points. Vastili though, he's run wide, he's managed to catch the car, and now Topics is thinking, right, let's get past the parent team. And he looks to the inside, feigning a dive bomb. But that has compromised his run out the second corner, and Vastili has got the better run. right now. So this battle will go on one more lap unless there's a mistake later on. As Topic's down the inside, trying to make Vasily move and think, right, I'm going to make a dive bomb here. I'm going to make a dive bomb here, but it isn't working.
Mikey made a mistake though, so.
Topics is now going to capitalise on the mistake. He's going to go down the inside at the chicane. And they're going side by side still. Does Vasily filter him into the wall? But no. Great racing for the pair of them. Great respect between the pair of them.
Yeah, you have Luke and GA as well. He's still a close. Oh, James. Just avoiding the wall in the castle.
Looking at Topics as he still tries to filter through. He's made a little bit of a mistake though, as he's now going to be watching Vasily get past Mikey. Mikey, whose tyres are really starting to struggle here on lap 9 of the race. Side by side, and Vasily has to bail out, and he gets clipped by the Red Bull.
Look at Topics, though, he's going to go down the inside. He's
That's not a move you can make, because he has damaged the Mercedes. He did use the Mercedes as a brake there. That was not an overtaking move. That was a kamikaze dive bomb.
Luke, though. Look at Luke's here. He's on 3%. He'll be on 0% by the time he has no ERS left. G might even be able to hold him off.
Even without ERS, though, he's closing quicker and quicker and quicker. To the inside goes Luke Beck, but he doesn't make the move on the McLaren yet.
Oh, GA runs. Oh, he just managed to avoid the one. Oh.
Topics and Vasily again battling furiously for P6. Sven has pitted now. People saying that Friedrich won't be stopping again. Thank you, Josh, for commenting. But yeah, Friedrich probably won't be stopping again, barring any damage. Vasily now to the inside of Mikey, looking to make a move on the Red Bull driver. Doesn't intact make that move. And Topics has been caught out.
You shouldn't. You only lose a lot of time, but you will not lose any positions because. Yeah,
Oh, Vasily into the back of just Mikey. He's had to stop the car, get it back in gear, and then get moving. So the two yellow flags are waving. I'm not sure who that was.
They were in the castle section there.
It's Hagen. It's Hagen. He's gone straight on. Hagen is now under pressure from GA in the McLaren.
Look at Stamber. He's almost a full pit stop ahead of the.
Hagen's in the barriers. He's struggling. He's got no front wing. He's into the wall again.
Oh.
And Luke Beck passing Hagen as Hagen had to get out the way. The reserve driver has bailed out, and that has cost him dearly. Luke Beck now battling for P2.
I was going to say that Sam is 21 seconds ahead of Luke, who was on the. Actually, no, Luke is on the pit stop, so. Start at the moment in the best position.
If you look down the order, the person who will not be stopping is Luke Beck Pitts. The person who isn't the next person who isn't stopping for a while is actually RDB, who's in P8, and he hasn't stopped for a while. Sector 1's yellow flags are waving. It looks to be, I don't know who it is. Stam's looking slow. It might have been Stam.
No, it wasn't Stam. Because Stam is very lost me. I do it. I don't think it was Stam. Whatever. RDB, where's he gonna come out in all the pit stop?
RDB currently P5, but he has damage on that nose, so it's going to be a long stop for him. As the Toro Rossos are now P5 and P7. And Lee just coming out right in the middle of two guys who were battling.
He's going through en route. This is great to see Lee battling with the UBT guys. He gets Luke because with here he squeezes him towards the wall, but you leave him enough room. So
oh, they hit a little bit as Lee thought he was further in front, but it's fine there. A little kiss won't cause anyone any trouble, and it was Stam. Yeah. Stam's in trouble.
Stam. He has a wing, I think, because look how much.
Well, GA's got a bad front wing as well. GA's got no front wing.
The massacre around here is getting ridiculous.
Lee almost getting dive bombed by Luke Beck. He won't be pleased with that as they go towards.
Please do not go for here. Thank you. Sven now. Sven in P9 and he doesn't have to stop again. So Sven could. If Sven ends up on the podium again, I will lose one. Stam, is he going to change the wing though? Did he get wing damage?
He has got wing damage, so they weren't ready. They were not ready for the car. And this is going to absolutely destroy his time because they weren't ready.
He isn't even getting a wing change.
And that is going to absolutely anger the reserve Greek driver. Ferrari have destroyed their own race as it opens up to anyone else in the Grand Prix now. Does anyone want to win this race? Apparently not.
No, fairness, Ferrari have destroyed their, weekend like they always do, as Topic's right on the mark.
Luke Beck passing Lienel. Two experienced drivers. Lee on the brakes, even more grown up. Look at the brakes. Oh! As they go side by side.
Stand down the inside. He just managed to avoid him. Lee and Luke Beck, and then Mikey.
Well, that moves over now. Lee and Luke's over.
Yeah. The Stam is going to go down the inside. He's right in the back of Topics. I just want to check. Yeah, Stam is 8 seconds off the lead, but it's where we accommodate his turrets, but nobody has retired yet. Or him.
You haven't just done that, have you? Really? Why would you say no one's retired? Then we get a yellow flag straight away.
Cycle match.
Yeah, Psychovic having trouble at turn 2 as Robert Kubica did, and now looking at Sven on the back of Lienel. Remember, Lee has dropped from GP2 voluntarily heading to GP3, and he must be enjoying this race a whole lot more than his GP2 days of driving on his own. Looking at Sven as he gets to the back of the Toro Rosso, but the Toro Rosso is so much quicker in a straight line.
Oliver Sileo, he's GA pits anyway, so you just get a dose of the DRS. Now, can Stan get past Topic? This is crucial. Oh, brilliant for us.
Topic back to the outside of Stam, tries to make the move. That's GA, and there we go. Whoa, he's left in no room on exit though. And Topics will have a dose of DRS this time, and Topics is going to think, right, you did that to me, I'll do the same to you in a minute.
I think Topics barely had a wing. Barely having a wing, it's still been on time, but
that's weaving from Stam, weaving back across, and the Greek driver, that's going to be controversial there.
Sven on me though.
So on board with Sven as he goes to the outside. Supporters in chat, as always, for the fan favourite Swedish driver.
Yes, Vernus. I don't want to think about Sven. I was about to say Sven can end up with a podium as long as he's on the bottom. Friedrich and Fester.
Two Swedish drivers there. A Norwegian and a Swede driver there. As they come through, Stam looking to slice down the positions of the lead. But the race is not done. Lap 13 out of 26 here in Baku.
And obviously we are at Baku. Let's be honest here. So let's be honest. Positions are never done until the race is finished. Okay, this is Baku we're on about.
Well, we will see. And even then, things can change post-race with the SFR stewards maybe getting involved in little things as Topics comes through now, looking to the back of Stam's car. But he's further away. We'll see Topics in pit lane.
He would have pit. He's pitting the sap. When we come out, I think he might come out behind. Maybe come out with this battle. Maybe he'll be able to get out ahead of GA. If he can get out ahead of GA, that'll be great. But if he doesn't, Luke Beck could end up with a podium and all this. Who knows? GA, is he going to be ahead of the racing? But I think GA it's going to be close. No, Topics has just got out ahead of Mikey there, but Mikey with the DRS, can he challenge Wizards Missile?
It's been a very simple move. Mikey with heated up tyres in the Red Bull is looking to overtake the Topics with the extra speed the Mercedes engine is giving him. Is just flying away from the Honda powered Red Bull.
In fairness, I'm impressed by Lee. He's managing to stick with Luke, considering he's on 8-lap all mediums. And also, him sticking with Luke is helping Sven, because obviously Sven and Luke on the same strategy. And again, it's not helping Sven because he wants to get past me and get after Luke, but it's just a way to see.
On board with Sven now, as he is the closest driver to another driver on track right now. 4 tenths is the gap between him and Lienel as they head up towards the hill. Whoa, clouting that curve heavily. As I think that curve's still wrong, actually. I don't think they've updated that curve, because I thought they covered it all the way over in Formula 1. as they come down towards the bottom of the hill corner. Lee suffering a little bit as he flies away, but it's fine. Sven is looking to make a launch and an attack soon, but Lee is still looking to stay with Luke Beck as quick as he can, but Lee will not have DRS this time. Sven is definitely going to try and make a move. Has to be within 3 tenths normally of the DRS zone. But we'll see on this big long straight as DRS is going to open in just a few moments' time. Well, not there yet. It's very simple. It's going to be a simple move as he pulls to the outside.
Oh, Lee did get DRS. Well, he gets past. I mean,
Lee wasn't given much choice there. Sven sort of crossed over into his lane a little bit too early. And
yeah,
Lee...
but then Sven though, he's right under like a Luke Beck.
No, Lee's got straight on because he's got flustered by the car in front. So Lee is showing that he's struggling a little bit, but he's back on the track now.
P8, so we lost a lot of time in decent positions, but...
Well, things can change in this race. With a snap of the fingers, lap 15, or 26. And this time, the snap of the fingers has just affected Luke Beck heavily.
Sven trying to go round the outside.
What happened there? Wasn't far enough along.
Oh my. Yeah, you have, I mean, I think, Stilling, excuse me. When he pits, I think he'll come out in the battle with Luke and Sven, because I mean, it's been what, 20, 21 seconds for a pit stop? And he's almost in there, Brenner. Sven, right on the back of Luke Beck. What can he do?
He's almost running to the back of the Renault there.
Oliver will be coming in, probably for a new set of meters if he wants to risk it or go on toss. And now I want to keep an eye on Olin to see where it comes out. If you want to keep an eye on the battle between
Blood and Sands in Sector 1 has retired from the session, and now it's a decisive move for the race here as Sven goes around the outside of Luke Beck on the straight. DRS will be the drag run.
Definitely be out on this battle. Luke Beck ahead.
Luke Beck hasn't given up the position here as he tries to get back on Sven, but he couldn't.
Out ahead by miles. That's about a 2 second out. And who knows? If he pushes into that gap enough, he can maybe catch Stam.
Lionel into pit lane now for the Toro Rosso team, returning to the team after a switch from GP2 2 seasons away. And he's going to have some more fun with that team as he often did, but Stam is still our leader ahead of Vistilli. But Luke Beck's gone deep at turn 3.
That has been a mistake common to me, which I didn't
expect. And there's the wing. Lundsan's leaving the session. So the wing struggling there at Sector 1's yellow flag, still waving. Oh, and Friedrich hitting the wall hard. He's had a puncture. No stress puncture though for the Renault. He's okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Olive, if he pushes into the gap enough, he can catch Stam and maybe go for a last final straight overtake, 10.8, and there's 10 laps to go. If he can just chip away with that gap, I mean, his mediums, they'll be dead. I mean, we're talking probably the final 2 laps, so you'd have to close him within them, but...
Hoymer, he's cut the corner to overtake Fester. He will have to hand back that position. And Fester is going to think, wow, that's not fair. Hoymer did a wall there with the castle section, and the Williams, he's dropping further and further back. You could say that's karma. You cut the course to try and overtake someone.
Yeah. I just want to say to the viewers...
He's in the wall even more. Bigger accident as Victor Williams showered the track.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So anyway, keep an eye on the front two. 10.1 that's the separates them.
We'll join that battle when it gets within a second though. As DRS opening on GA's car, the hard compounds suited the McLaren very heavily as he looks to the inside of Mikey.
And the 2 Renaults as well, they're battling.
Whoa, GA cutting across Mikey's line just a little bit, but this time it won't affect Mikey as it did Lienel. Hagen into pit lane. Oima dropping behind RVB because he's got no front wing. And the Renaults side by side in the moment.
Mikey lost the back end, and I think that is costing a move. But Sven on the back with Oliver as well. So this could Sven with decent pace, but I think Oliver needs to start picking up the pace if he wants to. Also, with them 2 battle, I mean, which Stan will pray to God that happens. Them 2 can battle, that all.
The reserve driver is enjoying himself right now, up in P1.
Almost knew it. He lost the back end. I knew he would have come over.
So what can Sven do as he runs up wide to try and get past the Mercedes? A seasoned podium sitter since he joined in Bahrain. Normally joined by his brother on track in the Ferrari, but his brother is not with us tonight.
9.7, he's lost a little bit of time on this one. I mean, he's put it in overtake there. I think they'll both put it in overtake.
No, Sven's in hot lap. So Sven jumping between hot lap mode. He's been given qualifying modes by his team. He's been told qualifying modes are available. Get past the Mercedes.
Yeah, he'll have him, I think.
DRS opening on the Sauber as he pulls to the outside. What can Vasily do on the brakes? He's been masterous on there now, but he is going to try and hold it.
Inside.
And he doesn't manage to.
I mean, oh, he runs a little bit wide, and that'll be the end of that attack. Who knows? Maybe this could be Sven's race to win, and we just don't know, especially when it comes to back two. Still got anything can happen in laps. Friedrich is on the back of Mikey now as well, but I think Friedrich's will to pit again unless he can pull a miracle on them tyres.
Pepster into pit lane once more after 15 laps on those medium tyres to get his nose changed in the Haas.
And now Lee is 1.1 seconds away because obviously Fester pitting. He'll be 1 second away from points. I'd love to see him get points back in GP3. It would be lovely to see.
Lee is not far away from the points at all, and he should be having a chance in this lap now as he gets close to the back of Hagen. DRS opening on the seasoned driver in SFR, been here since season 1. Hagen in his first race of SFR, looking to make a point there, moving a lot though on the track as Lee holds it around the outside as he heads further into the lap. Up into the tight and twisty section. Luke Beck with a time penalty in P8 right now as Badger and Oyma battle on.
Oyma, but the gap 8.2 seconds. Then is actually causing it quicker than all was. So anyway, Friedrichs and Mikey, and with GA just at the road, Friedrichs should be on to P5 considering he was basically near last. No, he'll have to pit again. So
wide low Billy.
Well, anyway.
On the back of Psychomich there, they touch a little bit as they come up through the section, through the tight section here, as they get tighter and tighter. And look at that, why they Billy?
If he can make this move, that would be great.
Well, he's done it because he's on 1 lap old. He's on 1 lap old soft tyres. They will not take it to the end of the race. I'm not sure what his strategy is here. Just Mikey has been passed by Friedrich as well.
And Mikey, yep.
So on board with Psychomich now as he drops further back. Billy on those soft tyres did an amazing move, but it's still for nothing at this point in time.
Billy's soft tyres might make it, but they'll be dead. As anyway, Lee right on the back of Hagen, and in the end, Friedrich will probably have to pit again unless he is a tyre miracle. So like, it's been about over P9 in the end, but anyway, and look at Lee right on the back of Hagen.
The pole sitter struggling and Lee into the wall. Lee just getting a boost of just leaving the car in the wrong setting there, and the car just didn't slow down. He's going to be kicking himself there.
His right end point is completely gone. I think there's a chance of points done with.
Well, it's not all done yet. There's still time to go in the race, but Lee is going to be in trouble with that damage of the car.
I just want to look at the leaders. So Sven was in one, like a low 1-0, and he was still catching. So I mean, I hope we can see a battle right at the end. Sure. I mean, Lee still managing to stay within the rest of Hagen, but that's starting to go. You can see Fetch after all the chaos and after one on the laps, managed to get a point or two. And Lee runs wide. I think you have to box. It'll be too much. You might just box and try and get fast off. He has fast at the moment, actually. That will go. That at the moment will go to Sven, but I'm not sure what the matter will be. It's a decent move.
Fester trying to make it obvious to Lee that he's quicker to get out of the way. And Fester, Luke Beck does pit. And now yellow flag. It's Badger is out of the session. Whoops, as I hit the wrong button. Do excuse that for going blue for a second.
Castle, I'm guessing it's Castle. But I'm
on board with Lee, with Hegloof as we have a look It's not the castle section, it's further down the hill. And Badger is now out the race.
You might just give him a little too much.
If you give up, if you don't want to race anymore, you retire in pit lane. As Oyma overtakes, Badger's been here long enough.
Actually. Yeah, what happened? That gap is now 5.3. It has shrunk a lot in between the two leaders. I didn't realize that. He's in P15. He was on for some points, but now... Oh, and Luke hit the wall there. I think... Luke is clean on the best.
He now into pit lane. We'll be seeing him again. He's going to be battling as hard as he can to try and get into the points. There's still time to go in this race with 7 laps of racing left in this race, and Hagen is looking incredibly worn in that Williams.
7 laps to go and the win, maybe even the podium, because you look at Olive, he's only 2.8 ahead of Topic, so the podium maybe not decided with some points in it, maybe not decided. There's still a long way to go. As you look at Luke, he's running the back of Hagen. I think Hagen will probably have to pit relatively, I don't know when, but you know, Billy could maybe score points after all the chaos. You also have to wait and see.
Well, Billy is second in the championship, remember, so it's going to be a bad day for the man battling for the championship, but a good day for Sven, who is third in the championship. But now Luke Beck, the leader, is looking to overtake Hagen sooner rather than later. I remember Fester will be going with them, but not yet. Here we go, DRS opening now on the Renault, and it's... Oh, it's a big move! That's a nasty move from Hagen. Very nasty for the new driver.
Okay, well, I just realized the gap is now 4.2 in the lead. We are going to see him lead 4, and I cannot wait for that. I hope anyway. I hope I'm going to lose it anyway.
Hagen making a very late move in reaction to Luke Beck. So Luke Beck can take those assurers as undriver conduct. And Hagen is going to get incredibly told off. As the... Oh, Friedrich's going to Fester, sorry, he's going to ride. He just couldn't get the car slowed down, that's what the runoff's for. And he's going to drop behind Billy. He's going to drop behind Oyma. And you know what? He's going to drop behind his teammate if he's not careful.
As an ass, I didn't expect...
The battle. Look at the top.
Sam made a mistake.
Stam has got an incredibly damaged front wing. And Sven is now the leader in Baku.
Like you said,
and Stam's in pit lane.
GA will be in 4th. This will promote a lot of drivers.
This is now the race for the lead, and Stam is going to be kicking himself incredibly quick, but he's going to be even further down. Friedrich can look at Friedrich in the pit lane. The pole sitter back in pit lane once more, and he's having to go for those soft tyres at the end. Billy, looking for the points, is in P11. He's close to the back of Hagen, but his tyres are going to start to fade at the end of the race.
Okay, P2
Stam with a 5-second penalty, and that can be it for Stam's race as he crossed the white line on pit lane.
Yeah, Friedrich's the only move on position. I thought he'd probably go fast off the same with Stam, but
Hagen's weaving on track. And there you see Billy trying to go back around the outside. And Hagen weaving his way to try and avoid getting overtaken. There's Billy just showing a little bit of a sign that he was weaving. DRS opening once more on the Alfa Romeo as he gets to the back of the Williams.
Hagen needs to be careful with the amount of moves he's making.
There's one.
Moves to the inside. Yeah,
squeezes back to the outside. Lee now is the fastest man on track in P15. They're around the outside.
That's actually a great move. Especially, I mean, I know they're probably both of their tires are dead, but...
No.
Well, that's not bad, man. Topics made a mistake. He was 2 seconds off, and now he's 4.2. So a mistake has been made by Topics. Has he got wing damage? Yes, his Topics' left endpoint is gone.
So is GA on for a surprise podium? It could happen if Topics has even more damage in this race, and GA continues on.
I think Topics is in. Topics is in.
GA, who started outside of the points in the McLaren, is looking for a podium tonight. The Scotsman up into 3rd. In a moment's time, there it is. But remember,
GA started P16. Now he'll have to obviously Stam on them fresh slots will be catching rapidly. I mean, we'll just have to see what happens. Topics will be telling us why. RDV as well, and
Topics again with a time penalty, and that's not optional. Don't cross the white line at the end of the pit lane.
RDV, I think he will fight this, or will he not? He's just going to go. He's going to fight this, or he isn't.
I'm under pressure from Festa as Festa goes to the inside. DRS open.
Yeah, I'll head back to this button.
And check what we have a yellow.
Spawn.
Hagen spinning. Oh, and Oyma having a big moment as he almost joins his teammate in the wall. And now the Williamses are going to be battling, or is it Williams I, or always forget with the plural, and the Williams drivers looking to battle one another, and Oyma's saying, I'm quicker, get out of the way. And Hagen's just dropped out of the way.
3.7 between. Oh, Stam, you're losing it there.
Remember, Stam has a time penalty, a 5-second penalty to be added to the back of his time at the end of the race, which will really affect it, because it can mean that GA could be on the podium tonight.
Yes, okay. I'm checking penalties. I will not say anything for the sake of the viewers. I just want to know myself. Okay,
so eyes front as Sven leads here in Baku for the 24th lap. Ollie Vistilli is in P2 and GA is in P3. The Scotsman looking to keep up pride as the 56 car runs in P3.
Webster though, I mean, he's going for at least 1 month, which I think with the race he's had today, he'd be happy with. Billy, his tires are dead. Then, I mean, if he can go the next 2 laps without spinning, I'll be very surprised. But look, he just doesn't have any traction or anything.
Friedrich is the fastest man in track, and that will add him the bonus point. As there you see Festa, he's just taking that track with ease as he goes to the inside of Billy. This will be a very simple move. Billy's actually heading to pit lane.
His tires are dead. He wouldn't make it.
Whoa, that's very quick into pit lane from Billy. I mean, that is the most well-controlled pit entry I've ever seen.
Hagen's in as well. I mean, look at the gap. It is 1 second, but obviously time penalties could change this. I know, but I'm not going to reveal it to any of these.
We know that we know that Stam with a time penalty will drop behind GA. Even if he passes him, it's 5 seconds. So GA just has to stick with him, and we know GA can stick with drivers. Linell is only 7/10 of a second behind Sajkovic. And he's going to be thinking, well, I've done more battling in GP3 than I have in GP2 this season, so I'm enjoying this a whole lot more.
Yeah, I'll give you that one, yeah, anything else. But anyway, battle for the podium, Stam and GA. I think Stam will have it, but if he can clear the gap that he needs to, yeah, he'll easily be as fast. But
on to the penultimate lap of the race now, and the top two are looking very solid. 14 seconds is the gap, and GA just needs to stick with Stam. He knows he can try to, but those tyres are going to really start to fade, so Stam might still have P3 on the mind.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But GA will get DRS here, which is, I think he needed that though. I think if DRS there, I think it could have been crucial anyway. Topics on Mike as well, no, Mikey, excuse me. And then you have a Friedrich as well, RDB, I mean,
Linell on the back of Sajkovic now as he looks to pass the Haas. Lee is having much more fun in this division than he did in GP2. DRS open on the car now, and he pulls out the paddle, and it does allow him to have that extra boost. Sajkovic looked to go behind him, but then decided that he couldn't go behind him because he wasn't further enough along, and he's going to have to stick behind him for the next couple of corners.
All topics on Mikey, and who knows, with Stam's pace, with the incredible rank he's on, he could still beat GA.
Sajkovic dropping down further as we head towards the 26th lap of racing, and Sven is looking very excited in the top two.
You know, 3.1, that's 2 seconds next lap. Stam, I think, with the pace he's showing, he saved the balls, or he's gonna go for him. I'm not gonna lie, I think he'll easily. Yeah, but anyway, Friedrichs and RDB as well.
RDB is struggling.
Also, who hits a wall, I think.
RDB's really struggling in this race.
Sven
12 lap
started
old
corner.
tyres versus 3 lap old soft tyres. What can Sven do? What can Friedrich do as RDB flies further? Ryan enjoying this car, this race. He struggled the last couple of races. DRS open on Friedrich's car. And Ryan's going to hold it to the outside. To the inside goes Friedrich. And Ryan just having to give up the position. As he knows he'll have another dose of DRS himself, but his rear end is starting to cook.
4.5, yeah, I think start one. Unless he hits the wall, we'll have this.
So Sven has made it through the most dangerous section of the track, the castle section, as now he heads down the hill towards victory.
I mean, the gap's already, we're talking 6 seconds, so damn worry, I still get a podium.
Sven is weaving already as he heads to the final corner. Wide Low Billy's the fastest man on the track in P14. And now Sven is looking very excited. He's lifting off to make sure he comes through the corners fine. He's weaving, but if he weaves too much, remember this can end in tears. It could end in a last moment pass. If he's not careful, he is weaving. He is stuck at 180 miles an hour. But Sven will not be challenged. He will win the Grand Prix here in Azerbaijan. Vistili is going to come home in second place. And Stam, miraculously, is going to finish in P3, barring any post-race penalties. That is your podium. Yep. And now GA will finish in a remarkable P4. For the McLaren team, scoring points and being happy. Topics P5, Mikey P6.
You might get P5?
Mikey taking P5.
Get P5 by attempt.
Pole sitter Friedrich is going to finish in P7 after the disaster for Renault. RDB is going to finish in the points. It's P8. Luke Beck, championship leader. He's had enough. He's not happy with this race. Look at the car sliding. Fester. He's going to be happy with P10. Over, Will finish in P11. And Lee now on return to GP3 racing is looking very excited. He's going to be happy with P12 because he's battled and that's all he wanted.
Cycle Mitch in P13 and Wardle Billy. And then it's Hagen and then Hagelson. And I totally enjoyed that. That was a great race.
It truly was a fantastic race, but we see now Sven is our winner here in Baku, and Alfa Romeo are going to be very happy because that might eject him into first place of the championship. Lee saying bring on Spain on the radio, but glad to be back. So it's a Swede on top ahead of the Norwegian in P2 and the Greek in P3.
Yes, so that was a great race. So anyway, on to Spain for these guys, but make sure to tune into my GP2 and obviously the rest of the GP2 guys, where we'll take on the streets of Baku.
I don't know why you're plugging that yet. We're not done with GP3 yet. We got to talk to them. We got to talk to Podium Sisters at the end.
I know.
So, barring any serious investigations, Sven is in P1 ahead of Vasily in P2. Stam is in P3. GA is in P4. Mikey is in P5. Topics is in P6. Friedrich is in P7. RDB is in P8. Luke Beck is in P9. And Fester is in P10. Drivers who did not score any points this week. Oyma is in P11. Lee Nell in P12. Psychomich in P13. Billy in P14. Hagen in P15. Hegloof in P16. Badger in P7. Badger did not finish the race, and neither did Blood and Sands. But barring any serious investigations, that is how the grid will be finished.
So, yeah, for now, that is how it will go down. Fucking hell, I expect to see probably at least a few investigations, but we'll just have to wait and see.
So we will have a chat with the podium sitters as we head over to as we head back onto back onto the menu screen, and then we'll have a chat. Then we'll see what we could do. Lee's saying worst race of his life, but he didn't crash in pit lane, so that's fine. Not this time. So we'll get them in now. We're looking for Sven, and we're looking for what was it? It was Sven, and it was honestly, I'm having a blonde moment now. Sven and definitely having a blonde moment. Sven and Vasily, yeah. So Sven has been sent an invite, and we'll get the rest of them in a second. I think we've got Vasily is in here. But Vasily's in his own party, so we cannot invite him that way. And it doesn't look like we have Stam in the list. We have Sven joining us, so we'll just quickly deal with the invites of other drivers right now. So just give me a moment. So just to be sure, Sven, have you got your mic set to share? All right, we will see if we can hear you on the stream. If any of my beautiful viewers can tell me. Well, no, we'll see what we'll see if the viewers can hear him. Before anything, we have Vasily joining us. We'll just check with him in a moment as well. Vasily, have you got your voice set to share? All right, so that's two of you guys to check. And we'll see what we can do with apparently we can't hear either of you. So can you just check your settings for me to make sure you're actually set to share, Sven and Ollie?
Is it okay now?
All right, we'll wait to see. Just gotta check with the screen first. Sorry, with the stream. They'll tell us if they can hear or not.
Okay.
Well, if in doubt, we'll do the interview, and I will interpret what they said, which gets a whole lot more difficult because I've got to remember everything they say, but still. But we shall see. It doesn't look like we'll have Stan joining us on the post-race interview, so we'll start straight away with Vasily. Mate, you are a reserve driver and you finished in P2 today. How does that feel?
I feel pretty good. Tried to keep my nose clean, but lost one man plate. But yeah.
But nonetheless, are you looking for a full seat in SFR, or are you expecting to stay as a reserve for a bit longer?
This is my first time as a permanent driver.
Oh, it's a permanent driver. Do apologise.
Yeah.
Yes, you are reserving it. Yeah, I've got to change up my list. But yeah, so you come into the Mercedes team a little bit later than everyone else. So do you feel any pressure from the team at all?
Yeah, try to keep up this form. My first race in Australia was in Mercedes. Lasted one lap, so try to do it better.
So how are you finding SFR? Are you enjoying being a permanent driver there?
Yes, great. Superb. Can't say anything other.
All right. So next week off to Spain, are you expecting another podium, or is that going to be a track to forget for you?
Probably want to forget.
All right. Well,
no, not my best track.
Just to summarise what Vasily said there, he said that he tried to keep his nose clean this race, but he ended up with a few M plates coming off. He's really enjoying being a factory Mercedes driver. This is his first race as a full driver. Next week off to Spain, he doesn't know how it's going to be there, but we'll see. He's thinking it might be one to forget, but it might be right throw up a couple of surprises before the end.
Yeah.
Well,
it's my name. If you want to get that right, is Ollie Westley.
Westley. Vestley. All right. I've just been corrected on how to say his name, so that's fantastic. But Vestley, well done, mate, and I will attempt to get that right in the future. But well done on P2, mate. A good drive.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Now, off to Sven. I mean, do you have your own personal cupboard now in the commentary room? Because you keep coming up here, you keep leaving your helmet up here. So before I ask another question, I'll just summarise that because that was a very long answer to a very awkward question. Sven just saying that he had one of the hardest races he thinks he's done for a while. It was a very difficult race after dropping back to second to last at the end of the first lap, deciding not to go 3 wide into turn 1. But nonetheless, you must be pleased with winning the race, though. At what point did you think I could win this race? So Sven just saying that he worried about he felt that he would have won this race earlier on, but with the penalties. Sorry, let me try that again. Sven thinking at the first pit stop that he was going to win the race, but he then saw Stam's pace was a little bit too great for him until Stam decided to go and crash into the wall. Am I right in that saying that, Sven? Well, nonetheless, you did really well. Looking forward to next week in Spain. How are you feeling going into that track? So Sven thinking he's going to have a good chance at Spain next week. Well, that's laying down the gauntlet for the other drivers to come and have a look and think, right, well, we have to beat him this time because he's getting a little bit too quick. Well done to all 3 of the podium sitters, though. Stam did not join us. Stam finishing in P3, Vesely finishing in P2, and Sven winning the race ultimately. So you're all now free to go off and drink your champagne or do whatever you do at the end of the race. Maybe have a debrief with the team, or maybe go off and have a party. It is Baku after all.
Thank you.
All right, so as the drivers leave us, Leroy, how was that race for you out of 10?
Well, personally, I really enjoyed it. There was action almost, and we're talking every lap, overtakes, crashes. And one thing I didn't expect, people. I mean, a lot of people. Turn 3 seemed to be a lot of against people. You're missing their brakes. I didn't expect that, but you see with you guys, I mean, I'm saying they're rookies, but I mean, just that corner catching there. But overall, we enjoyed the race. And just bring on Spain.
Yes, next week the GP3 drivers will be off to the Spanish Grand Prix in the Catalonian circuit, Barcelona. There we go. You know what, Alex is going to find that hilarious I did that, so let's hope he doesn't watch. But SFR's not done in Baku. We've got 2 more races here at the street circuit, so keep an eye on the YouTube channel tomorrow, GP2, where you can be expected to see me and Leroy battling it out, me in my Williams gear and Leroy driving his Haas, because he has to be black and gold. That's my one per stream. Didn't get one in stream.
Oh yeah, I was expecting one, trust me.
But we will see all the drivers back on track for GP3 next week. Then we have the Premier Division on Thursday night. That you'll see me once again on commentary, hopefully with Alex and Primary Rex closing out the week. If you haven't already done, check out the new SFR podcast that's up on the YouTube channel. I was the first guest with Alex, and it was a very nice time just to sit down and have a chat with Alex and talk about different things other than what's happening on track. Leroy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we will see you tomorrow on track. My name is JB. Thank you so much for watching GP3's round 4 around Azerbaijan. Have a very good night, and I will see you next time. Ta-ra, guys.